Good day, guys. Coming back with another video. I'm about to leave shortly. Um, I just wanted to get this video off because I got an email last night about, well, one of my subscribers got a big account, and the thing is that, well, let me wait till some of you guys start getting on here. I'm gonna wait till some of you guys kind of load up. It's not gonna be a very long video today, I promise for sure. Let me wait till some of you guys load up here. Uh, Wait till some of you guys load up here. Hey, how's it going? I see one person on. I'm trying to let you guys load up before I get started. So many people say they'd be missing my lives. Let me see here. Um, Maybe I should just go right into it. Let me see. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. For the person that's watching me, I'm just trying to let other people load on here. If you're just joining me, I would like for you to like, share, and subscribe. I'm just trying to let the viewers build up before I really get started. A lot of people say they be missing me. If you're just joining me, I would like for you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Okay, well, I got 5. I guess more people are going to come on here. So, okay, so one of my subscribers emailed me last night, and he was watching a lot of my videos, he was saying, and he chose not to target like more of like medical facilities, smaller to medium size. He wanted to go big from the jump. So I remember him asking me some time ago about picking up just big contracts. He wanted to make the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 range. He wanted to try to land a deal like that as his very first contract. And I told him it's a lot that can come with that. You know, yeah, it's pretty good money, but you know, you want to have your paperwork. You want to have, I mean, paperwork on all levels, not just an agreement or a estimate sheet or anything like that, proposal sheet. You want to have all the paperwork, okay, when you're dealing with including your insurance, license and bonding and all of that stuff, right? So you want to have it all because they're going to ask for it. It's a little bit different. So his first deal is a 10,000 square feet facility. Okay, so he just landed that contract, just very, very recent. But the thing is, they want him to clean 2 other facilities. I don't know if it's owned by the same people. I don't know, the mechanics of it. He didn't really so much go into detail of that, but he wanted to know if he had to put them under different contracts since they were different buildings. And I told him in an event like that, it's kind of whatever whatever the owner wants or the decision maker, whomever that person is. It's kind of whatever they want. Okay, uh, I I'm good. I'm kind of on the fence both ways with it because although I would love for you guys, and this is a plant actually, you guys. So this is a big, 10,000 square foot facility that it got is like a little plant. Okay, so I'm kind of on the fence with it because the thing is, I like for my people because this is what I do. I like for my people to work within the building and train themselves before they go and hire someone else. Okay, and with the plant, it's gonna come with multiple people. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Are you able to share if he got that by cold calling door to door? He got that going door to door. He got that going door to door. Okay, but he chose to pick that as a niche. Okay, he instead of going to medical facilities, law firms, or what have you, he said it took him about a week to get because it wasn't as easy as going door to door. They say, okay, we're gonna hire you. It's a lot of different mechanics to it. So, but he did get the contract. Okay, if you just joining me, I want you to like, share, and subscribe, you guys. I greatly appreciate that. So I'm talking about a subscriber of mine that went door to door. Okay, he picked up a 10,000 square foot facility. And what's happening here is they want him to do another two buildings that I don't know that they own or that they affiliated with. And he asked me if he should do three separate contracts or just put it under one contract. And I told him that it depends on who the decision maker is. Now, if it's the same decision maker for all three buildings, then what he should do is just uh, do a walkthrough on all of the buildings, right? And he can just kind of lump the numbers up. Okay, just he could put it together separately, but he can kind of mesh all the numbers together, right, as one big contract if you have the same decision maker. But if it's easier or it makes more sense for him and the decision maker to put it under three separate contracts, then he can. Now they're all big facilities, okay? It's not like he got this one big facility and he got these two small facilities. He said they're all big. One might be a little bit bigger than the other, but they're all around the same type of range. Hey, how's it going, Joe? So the thing is, guys, if you're ready, and I'm about to get on part two of this, but if you're ready to go big from the jump, just make sure, and it's very, 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 very important. And I said that many times because it's very, very important that you make sure you have your paperwork together, all paperwork, not just your agreement, okay? Not just a flyer, not just your estimate sheet, not just the typical paperwork that we talk about, but make sure you have all the paperwork, all your document, your because they're gonna ask to see like insurance, liability insurance. They're gonna ask if you're bonded a lot of times. And this is what kept me from going very, very big in the very, very beginning. I stayed with smaller to medium sized accounts because I seen early on that they weren't asking for that information, which I didn't have to start with. Okay, so I didn't have all of this to start with. Okay, so as I grew, then I got insurance and I started picking up the ball, so to speak. Okay, but if you have all of that and you feel like you got the manpower, he also asked me about hiring the people, getting the people, getting the bodies available for these particular facilities. Because the only way that they're going to hire the company full fledged, I guess, is the way I understand it based on this email, is that they want to have the same cleaner clean all of the facilities, which makes sense. Okay, it makes sense. But like I said, first things first, you want to have all your paperwork together. You should have that together. Period. Anyway, I speak about that all the time. But definitely when you're going after big business, insurance and stuff like that, you want to have that stuff available. It's only a few times where big companies then ask me for insurance. Generally speaking, especially with plants, because it's a lot of liability there. Generally speaking, they'll ask you, are you insured by this such and such and such and such. Okay, so you want to definitely have that information available. I also received an email since I'm thinking about it. Somebody asked me, they say, Fabio, I watch your videos and you got beautiful information. I love your information. The thing is that I just cannot get any accounts. I don't know if it's my area. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's my flyer. I don't know if it's what I'm saying over the phone or when I go door to door. I just cannot get any accounts. This is what I was thinking, Fabio. I was looking up accounts in my area in which that I can buy, maybe from another independent, or if I could find somebody that's just, trying to get rid of accounts, they're trying to get out of the business and they want to get rid of their accounts. And I was thinking maybe I could start a business that way. I could just get my business off the ground that way. I'm not the biggest fan of that because I like to sweat equity in the very beginning because number one, it makes you feel more accomplished. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I feel that you would take more pride in that, seeing that you work so hard to get that. Okay, now if you have the money to purchase, different, contracts or different accounts, you can give it a shot. Okay, I wouldn't tell you not to do it, but I wouldn't tell you go ahead and just do it. I mean, if you feel good in your gut and you want to go ahead and purchase a new account, then go ahead and do so. I would suggest that you ask why they're selling. Just like a person that's selling a home, there's different reasons that homeowners sell their home, right? So here's the same thing. I would ask, well, why are you selling? Try to get the numbers on the account. Try to get a feel for the account. Try to get a feel for the owner or the decision maker, whomever that person is, okay? Try to understand the nature of this particular facility, the nature of this particular business in which you're trying to buy. Because I mean, all of this stuff it means a lot in the very, very beginning, because you don't want to really necessarily spend all this money and purchase a contract and then you buy somebody else's headache. Okay. I'm not like the biggest fan of that, but like I say, I'm not against that. If it's a profitable deal, right, and you can negotiate between the two of you, meaning you and the seller, the person that's selling the contract, then number one, I would try to make the terms favorable for me. Okay, I would try to, because it's a lot of scoundrels out here. There's a lot of people that try to get over on people. Okay, and it's a lot of times that people leave out information. They give you this agreement they want you to sign, and here's all the numbers, and here's all that is, and then they leave out the little stuff, just the particulars, the little stuff that you probably should know. That now you done spent your money and you done pay for this particular contract, and now you got a headache on your hands, right? So now you're either going to try to sell it, right, or you're just going to deal with the headache, or you're just going to let it go altogether, right? Which, if you do that, you lost money because you paid somebody else for it, and then you just let it go. Okay, so again, I'm really, really big on going door to door, doing the phones, or sending out mailers, or going, postcards, or however you decide to do it. I'm really, really big on that. Okay, I just feel that you would appreciate your own business more when you put in the sweat equity opposed to when you purchase an account. Okay, like I say, moving back to the guy, one of my subscribers that bought, I'm sorry, that solicited the big contract. Okay, the plant. Like I said, if you guys are in a situation like that where you're going after big accounts, okay, if you're going after big accounts, um, just know that there's different dynamics to it. Okay, from the bidding, to the way you do the estimate. Okay, everything. It's get a little technical. Okay, so and I do know there's people that just want to do those bigger accounts, obviously because they want to make more money really, really quick. And like plants, I tell people all the time, you can make a lot of money with plants. Full of information. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Edgar. I greatly appreciate you just for viewing me and taking time out your day to do so. I greatly appreciate that. So, like I said, for those that want to start big, um, number one, make sure you have the paperwork. Take notes, guys. Make sure you get the stuff down. Make sure you have the proper paperwork. Okay. Make sure it's with a fine tooth comb. Okay. Um, Number two, make sure, uh, and when I say paperwork, I mean everything like insurance and bond and all of that stuff too. Okay. So you want to make sure you have that. It's up to date. Number three, make sure your training is up to par in terms of when you train people for these facilities. Because the last thing you want to do is to put bodies in these particular facilities and then they don't get the job done, and then you start getting complaints early on. I mean, you don't want to, get fired, before your benefits kick in, so to speak, right? You don't want to get fired before the 90 days, right? You haven't really made any money there. So, like I say, training is very, very important. That's across the board, but definitely when you go after really, really big facilities. In this case, this guy, he has three facilities. He has one for sure. And they said that they would like to have the same cleaner do the other two, which is pretty big facilities. Okay, like I say, he was asking me if he should put different numbers in. Okay, well, I would guess at this point, if he had this contract, I don't know if they agreed or signed on it yet. He didn't kind of go in the particulars, but he said that he had this first deal, and they want him to do two other deals. So those other two deals, I mean, if he got the first deal, he can kind of lump that together on those other two deals on the same contract, if it has the same decision maker, like, or if the companies are all like one company or affiliate companies, right? He can just do the walkthroughs, right? Take down what they need done, take his notes, and then he could put those numbers together, and then it'd just be one big check when he go pick it up, instead of just one, two, three different checks. Okay, so I told him that's kind of between him and the decision maker. I can't really tell him how to go with that. It's just what feel comfortable for them. But again, if you guys want to start big, like I say, make sure you have the proper paperwork. Make sure your agreement is up to par. Because again, and I find this a lot, if you don't have any big uh, companies like myself, I have these big companies. I find this a lot. They will play on your agreement. Okay, they will play on your, well, your agreement didn't say this, your agreement says that, your agreement didn't say this, your agreement says that. Those bigger companies will play on it, right? Because they want to get the maximum clean, they want to get the most elaborate, the most professional, they want to get the maximum clean, a lot of times for the least amount of money. Okay, be careful on your numbers, be careful on your numbers. I like to tell people, try not to go too high, but try not to go too low. Okay, try not to go too high, try not to, and here's why. And this would, on any contract, the reason being is that if you go too high and they pick you up, because sometimes you can go high and you will get that account. But what happens is when somebody come in with lower numbers than yours and kind of convey the message that they can get the job done for at least amount of money, a lot of times these companies to save money, they'll take off and give that person with the lesser bid, right, the lesser number, they'll give that person a try. And these are big and small accounts alike. Okay, but this is really prevalent in these industrial plant type of facilities. I, for whatever reason, I notice by working in them, I know they have a high security turnover, which means security companies that work, that's there with my people. When I go in, they have a security company there, um, and cleaning company, right? Before I got at a lot of these different ones, they would tell me that they switched over at least twice or three times on the cleaning side, right? We talked to the security people. The security people say the same thing. Before we got here, it was two different companies, right? So for whatever reason, they don't have a problem with letting you in and switching off to a new company. Okay, so when you go after these big companies, make sure you have the proper training, because that's what it's going to boil down to. That's what it's going to boil down to, the proper training. And you're not, as the boss or as the owner of your particular cleaning company, you're not going to always be able to look over your shoulder or look over their shoulder and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, because again, you got to go get new accounts, right? New contracts. You got to maybe work in the administration side. You got to get the checks ready for the people that do work for your other accounts, right? Or whatever the case is, you got other business to take care of. So you're not going to always be able to look over their shoulders. So when you pick these specific people, however you get them, okay, make sure your training is up to par. They do have training DVDs. If you Google employment cleaning training DVDs, or training, uh, material, whatever the case is, they do have certain DVDs that'll teach you. I don't know if the information is dated or outdated, I should say, but it's worth the try. If you find a site or find somebody that have a great training DVD that you can kind of watch and kind of get an idea about. Me, I have a training DVD that came with my situation years and years ago, but I got things down to a science, so I rarely don't even have to really refer back to that DVD, right? Because I kind of got things, I understand things better, okay? So if you guys have any questions, chime in while I'm here. I'll be getting off live very soon. I have a move to shoot. But again, if you have any questions, I'd be more than willing to answer those questions for you right now. But again, for my people that's going after very big accounts, 10,000 square feet, as one of my one subscriber did. Again, have great paperwork. Try to have details in there, because a lot of times these companies will play on that. I know that facts. Oh, that's facts that they will play on that. Your insurance, all of that stuff is up to part. You make sure you have all of that's up to part, and your training. Okay, then you just go in there and do what I call show up and show out. Okay, go in there, train yourself well, train the staff well, make sure everything is understood. If you have any questions, make sure you ask those questions. Okay, don't assume you know the answers. Okay, and just go in there, like I say, show up and show out. Okay, but I'm not against anybody that want to go big from the jump. Just make sure you have the manpower. Okay, people ask me about schools and different things like that. Schools could be some of the most difficult things different difficult accounts that you can have. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. A lawyer created my paperwork, my agreement. Yes. But for those that don't have access to a lawyer or the money to pay a lawyer, um, there are companies like mine that sell paperwork, and I'm not necessarily saying that mine have to be bought. There's other people might cost you like $1,000, 900 bucks. It might cost you quite a bit of money um, for a lot of this great information. A lot of the agreements you might find online are just generic agreements. Okay, I've looked over a lot of agreements, and they're good agreements to start off with. But again, you want to have specifics, and there are certain things you want to have in there. I won't discuss that here on the live, but it's certain things you will want it to say. It's certain ways you will want it to read that works in your advantage. Okay, so you could either purchase, paperwork from companies that that sell paperwork that have great agreements, or you can sit down with the lawyer and draw it up yourself. Never try to do it yourself. Never try to do it yourself and save yourself money because it won't come out the way you want. I have one contract I have one contract that includes 7 buildings paid for. The secretary is lying and saying we stealing. I clean that one alone. Is she? Uh, I would say talk to your contact person, sir. Or let me see if it's his name. Clean Fresh. Talk to your contact person. Okay. Every cleaning company is going to hear that. Okay. And if it's not the cleaning company, it's the security company, right? It's never their employees. At least that's the way they look at it, right? When many times it is. But the first company that get blamed are generally like the security company of the facilities or the cleaning company. Oh, the cleaning company must have stole this. The security company must have stole that, right? So you're always going to be the first. You're always going to be the first blame. But I would say bring it up to your. I see you, Joe. 1 second. I would say bring it up to your contact person. Okay, bring it up to your contact person. Let them know that you heard that, or you've heard, or you have been accused of perhaps stealing, and then whatever the item is, and you wanted to bring it to someone's attention, because that's just something that you don't engage in. That's just something your employee's not engaging in, or whatever the case is, right? So you just want to make it, known that number one, you don't steal, and it's not your company. It's not your company that's doing it, and that you would like to let them know that you're hearing that you supposedly has stole something or you are stealing stuff. Okay, so that's before it get too kind of too far. If you bring it to them, you got a better chance. Like I believe, at least personally, my own opinion, you got a better chance of smoothing it out and making it favorable for you, opposed to if there are people going to tell the boss or your contact person that that you're stealing, right? And it's been going on for weeks and weeks or months and months or whatever the case is. So it's better for you to, I feel, this is my own personal opinion, I feel like you should address it first, and you just let them know that you are aware that you've been accused of stealing, and then you name whatever the object is or whatever you supposedly stole. Okay, that's how I feel about it. Let me see here. Oh, Joe, he retracted his message. Okay. Um, Maurice Anderson, encourage all of us. A question to start. Can I use my bid form? Okay, now I want to jump on this too, because I had one of my subscribers. I won't say her name. She was using her estimate as her agreement and having them sign off on that. Like when she put the numbers in, I told her no. I told her, and I'm telling, who was this here that asked me that? Edgar. Edgar, I'm telling you the same thing. No. Have it two separate things. Don't put it on the same form, because see, your estimate is just the breakdown of your actual numbers. It's what you're doing for the amount of money that you're charging. Okay, your agreement is just the specifics, okay, of how long the agreement for, just the specifics of the overall whatever you're doing for the job. It has nothing to necessarily do with the numbers. Okay, it's really like the procedures, what you agree to do for however long the length of time. So you want to separate that, because you can really fuck yourself over. Excuse my French, but you can really fuck yourself over, I guess, doing it that way. Now, she actually got contracts using her bid as her agreement. Other people might tell you you should do it. I'm telling you, I don't believe you should do it, because both documents are going to speak a different language. They're going to say different things. Okay, your bid, estimate, proposal, whatever you want, those are just your numbers. You're going to do it one time a week, a deep clean. You're going to itemize, what's general cleaning, what's extra, why this is extra, what the tax is. And another thing, a lot of people are not doing on their, and it comes on mine, but a lot of you guys are not adding tax in there. You got to pay business tax, whether you charge tax or not. Okay, you're going to pay business tax. So why pay it out of your bottom line? This is money that you can actually have. You want to charge them for the service tax. Okay, you want to charge them for the service tax. Okay, some people say, oh, you're not supposed to charge service. You're supposed to charge service tax, because at the end of the year, the IRS is going to bill you for that, right? You got to pay taxes on the money that came in, right? So you want to be able to you want to bill them for that. So if you're charging, let's say $300 a month, then it's going to be $300 a month plus chemicals or products if you're supplying that, because I always mark that up myself, plus sales tax. Okay, you have to charge it because you got to pay it. Trust me. Now, now it's different ways you can do it. You can equip it in the price where it doesn't say, well, you might say, well, with the $300, my sales tax is in that. Okay, it's nothing different than if you go to the store and you buy a pack of M&Ms, right? And they say, well, you can get one for such and such, and you can get two for $1. Okay, when they buy the box of M&Ms, they don't say, well, we're going to give you 49 packs for free, and we're going to give you 49 packs that you got to pay for, and we're going to give you one for free. When you buy the box of M&Ms, you buy the case. So you're paying for every package of M&Ms that's in that particular box. Okay. Now, when they say buy one get one free or this and that, whatever, that's just a promotion that they're running, but they're still making money on that. It's just equipped in that dollar price. So whatever they're paying for the M&Ms, they're not losing money to give it to two for one. They're not losing money there. Okay, so they can afford to give you, and this is what I'm saying, two packs of M&Ms for $1. Okay, so you can work your business the same way. You cannot equip that tax rate in your estimate price. Okay, you just put it, you add it to that. Okay, instead of itemizing it down, if that makes sense to you. I don't know, depending on how your form is, your estimate sheet or your bid sheet, whatever you want to call it, depending on how it's set up, right? Mine is set up, everything's itemized, right? Each day we clean all of that, the date, how much it is per day. Like mine is, detailed with it, okay? And then we have the itemized list for product, if they going through us to get the product. Some companies provide their own products. If you go through my company, I mark it up. I go ahead, we get it from the janitor supply store. I mark it up, I make a profit on that, right? They pay for that, I make a profit on that, and then I still have to add tax for the total service that we offered, right? Or that we billed them for. Okay, so you still have to pay that tax. Now, if I say I'm not going to offer taxes at all, I'm just going to charge them a flat $500 a month, then I still have to pay taxes on that. Okay, you still got to pay taxes on that. So you might as well either equip the tax in that price, or you just kind of itemize or whatever your state taxes, you just add that to that price. Okay, but you got to pay it. Okay, so that's pretty much how I feel about that. Not sure if I spoke on that ever before, but you do want to add tax to those services. Okay, same thing with carpet cleaning, window cleaning, whatever, because you got to pay taxes. As a business, you got business taxes you got to pay. Okay. Hello, Fabi. How do I contract out my turnover cleaning without a third party taking my business? Of course, I would give them the lion's share of the profit. I just don't want to. Oh, I just don't want to lose that profit. Okay. Now the thing is you can have them sign a non-compete, or a non-disclosure, non-compete agreement. Okay, and you're a subcontractor. Some people have a subcontractor agreement. Okay, let me see. Was that a subcontractor he's talking about? Yeah, yeah. So when you contract it out, you have them sign a separate form, like a subcontractor agreement, that's just stating, whatever it states, that they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that, and then you still put them on what I call the non-compete and the non-disclosure. Okay, you want to definitely have them on that, and if your agreement is written right, like, because my agreement, I can actually have my contractors sign my agreement. Okay, because of the way I have it drawn up. Okay, so I don't necessarily, I actually do, but I don't use it. I don't necessarily use a subcontractor. I don't necessarily use, one second, I see it here. I don't necessarily use a subcontractor agreement. I can actually have my client sign my agreement, like the contract that we're going after, and I can, because of the way it's worded, I can actually have my subcontractor sign it. So both parties sign the same thing. I think I told you guys way back where one company or one individual tried to undercut me and go and steal my contract. Well, and this was a big company. Like, this was a big brand company. We all heard of it before. So because of the wording and the mechanics of it, I'll put it that way, right? I contact the company. The company was, they was ready to go and all of this. Well, they contacted us initially. They wanted to do away with our service. And then once I found out what was going on, right, they were soliciting, then my vendor was kind of soliciting to charge lesser than what I was charged to do the same amount of work, right? So then once I brought my agreement to the table and showed them what they signed, and I highlight the specifics in there, they withdrew that, and then I still actually have this client today. It's in Southfield, Michigan. Okay, so and that's been some time now. Now I don't have that vendor no more, but I still have this same contract today. Okay, let me answer this real quick here. Hello, Fabio. Is it safe to get a whole bunch of accounts as a subcontractor? You mean if you're working for somebody else? If you're just a subcontractor and working for somebody else? Yeah. I mean, you could do that. It still build your business. You just want to make sure it's fair. You just want to make sure it's fair. Okay. Once you read their subcontractor agreement or whatever type of agreement, whatever paperwork, you want to read it from top to bottom, make sure you understand it. Okay. And if you don't understand it, you want to consult with a lawyer with their paperwork. You kind of want to take it to a lawyer if you can afford to do that, or you can have them break it down in layman's terms. But then that means you still have to believe what they're saying. So if you're reading it and it kind of makes sense, and you feel good about it, then go ahead. But I would say just totally not be a subcontractor for another company unless you want to get your feet wet. You want to understand the mechanics of the business. You want to understand structuring and different things like that. Then yeah, you can work at it, as a subcontractor. Do the work, kind of get your feet wet, understand the business from the inside out, right? And then you can branch off and do your own thing, just as long as they don't have you under a non-compete agreement, okay? Because then that'll put you in a bind where you won't be able to compete against them for a certain length of time. Okay, so most companies I can imagine don't do that. I would imagine, unless they're a franchise. I know franchises have certain agreements and things like that. But on an independent site, I don't know if you're working for an independent or a franchise company. Um, it just wouldn't be worth it to try to go up against them. Okay. So if they have you sign a non-compete and it's for a certain length amount of time, unless they say it's okay or they give you a written notice out where you can get out with a written notice, then go ahead, do your own thing. But I would always suggest you to start your own thing from the start. Don't be a subcontractor unless you just want to get the hang of the business, right? You kind of want to understand it. And if you're going to be a subcontractor for another company, try to make sure you're with a reputable company. They have a nice track record. You don't want to be with a fly by night company, because then they might be doing shady business and you don't want to learn shady things. You want to learn, the whole mechanics, the A, B, C's, and the one, two, threes of it. Okay, guys, I have to get out of here. Sorry, I have to cut it short. I'm biting for time here, but hopefully I answered that. If you guys have any questions, you can always email me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART at gmail.com. Bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Shout out to the gentleman that emailed me that got his first really huge account. This is his first account. Is a 10,000 square foot facility. They want him to sign on with other big accounts somewhat close to the same size as the 10,000 square foot. I think he said one of the other buildings is a little bit bigger. If you're watching this live, kudos. I love to hear those stories. When you get those stories, that just let me know that the information that I impute in my subscribers is working. It's just a matter of you guys getting out, knocking doors, or picking up the phones, or sending out mailers, or just being strategic, right? Being unconventional. I like to do business unconventionally, because when you do things conventionally, you get conventional profits. You're looking like everybody else. Have a little swag to your company. Do something a little different, okay? It'll make you stand out. Now, be ethical, but just do something a little different, okay? It'll make you stand out. Have a sharp USP and stand on it, okay? But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cut this short. Sorry if you guys had questions that I couldn't get to. Again, email me right away. My assistant Jasmine will make sure that I get them. If you need to speak to me or you need help trying to close a deal, right? Just go ahead and leave your name and your telephone number in that email and say, hey, can you have Fabio call me? I'll give you a call and try to work it out with you. Okay? That's going to do it for now, you guys. Hopefully you learned a lot. Again, you can always email me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. BOOKF like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART @gmail.com. I definitely will get back with you once I get the message. Okay? I'm Fabio Hart. The only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. Take care.